It's summertime and I have my FMS Kingfisher 1.4 meter RC airplane. And the Kingfisher is a really nice RC airplane because it comes with wheels, with floats, with the skis to run this one on all surfaces. And I will actually start to show this lovely RC airplane on floats. And so let's just go to a flight and talk more about it later. I really like sunset flights, and here I have the FMS Kingfisher, and it's the sun is setting down, so really calm evening. Just place this one in the takeoff position. So when it's calm, this Kingfisher is really easy to get off water. When I'm flying this plane, I usually go almost full throttle all the time because I don't think it's too powerful. So you really need the full power and speed in order to do nice rolls, and the rolls are not snappy. You can do snappy loops, but and you can make them square as well, but the rolls are not too aggressive.
Time remaining 4 minutes.
But it sure is speedy, and inverted flight is no problem. Just have to have some pressure on the elevator to keep the nose up. And having the lake just nearby where you are, you can go fly anytime. It's just fantastic, and especially when you have a night evening like this with no wind. It's just super calm and quiet. Now you have the ESC alarm from the Avian ESC. So it does warn me when battery drops. Usually you can just keep on flying a while, and I set a timer for 5 minutes, which I think is it's what this one can do on full throttle. When you actually purchase this one, it says on the box like 10 to 15 minutes, but I think that is really, if you go 20-30% throttle, you can certainly do like 10 minutes, I suppose. But if you do some sort of aerobatics, you really need the speed, so expect maybe 5 or 6 minutes if you have like easier and low throttle passages as well. And this is really nice just to engage flaps and just fly slow, pretty close to the water. You can see the nice shadow reflection in the water as well. So this Kingfisher is also really steady. There is very little tendency to actually drop any wing and have a kind of tip stall on the wing. It is, really gentle and easy to fly. So on floats, it's easy to get off water. It's also easy to land because you can slow it down nicely with floats. It does, of course, become more difficult if you have wind. So on some flights I've actually tipped the plane over on landings because I put it down in a nice way, but then the wind just caught it and flipped it over. So That's something to be careful about any plane on floats. To be sure just to face the wind, because you do like crosswind landings. Chances are, if a gust comes, it will tip over. But thanks to the foam it floats really nice. So let's get it down then. Very nice and gentle touchdown. So that's the FMS Kingfisher 1.4 meter wingspan. I really enjoy this on floats. I'm interested to get this one flying on wheels and on skis later this year also. I enjoy this Kingfisher. I think it's a really nice flying RC airplane. It does remind me of the Arrow's Bigfoot when it comes to size and how it handles. But this one is only 3S compatible. I have replaced the EC inside, so there is an Avian 45 amp EC, which is both 3S and 4S compatible. But I've tried 4S, and the motor inside gets super hot, so I wouldn't ever recommend to run this with the stock motor on 4S. So 3S is good. Now I suppose that if you run it on 3S, it does actually lack a little bit of power when you do like outside loops and more difficult maneuvers. But overall, I think 3S is just fine. And if you want to fly scale, it's really nice. This one does actually come with flaps, and it's a 4-channel RC airplane, so ailerons and rudder and elevator, of course. And it's also really simple to install and assemble this one. So the wing halves does actually feature a quick connect system, so you just put in the wing spar and you push the wing halves in, and they actually just click into place. And there's a quick release underneath, so you press this button to actually remove the wing. And the wing spars are held by pins, so no screws. And the rear stabilizer over here, it's also a quick system, so it clicks into place, and of course you have to attach the servo linkages. And inside there's also a quick release to remove the top hatch, and thankfully it's a top feeder, so you don't have to flip the plane over. The space inside is really spacious, so you can actually fit almost any battery inside of this one. And as you can see, I have the IC3 connector from the Avian 45 amp EC. And just to make this waterproof, because the Avian 45 amp EC is not waterproof, I have put in silicone on both ends to have it more water repellent, and hopefully it will survive more if I will flip this one over. So I mean, having a package like this with floats, with wheels, with skis, it's a really nice one. And I think also the paint job with the kind of orange and blue makes this really easy to see when you fly it. And almost all maneuvers you can actually achieve with this one. So inverted flight it's really nice and easy. I think it does struggle a little bit with outside loops because the 3S is not that powerful. But I've had a few issues with this one, and when I first got it, I had it's kind of a servo jitter, if you may call it. And after maybe 25 flights, the elevator servo just gave up and actually flipped the plane over on water, and I had to replace the servo. And a few flights further on, one of the aileron servos also did actually fry. So there's a kind of a quality issue with FMS RC airplane, because I have the FMS Edge 540 750mm, and all the servos will just bust on that plane. So I will be careful about FMS and their servos, because if you feel them and they are hot, you really have to replace them, or you will certainly sooner or later have a crash. But I mean, I can just say that this is a really nice RC airplane. It's a good size. It's fun to fly. All the features that you can fly this one on any surface really. It looks great in the sky. So I mean, I dig it, but there are as I mentioned, a few quality issues with servos, but other than that, I think just a fantastic RC airplane.